In the summer of 2021, Patrick, myself, and our 2-month-old baby Theodore rented a camper and drove through the mountains of Switzerland, across the plains of Italy, through the forests of Slovenia, and down into the Croatian summer. We started in the misty mountains of Switzerland on the Vierwaldstätter See, where we visited Seelisberg and spent an evening in the surrounding forests. Theo slept in the carrier, and at this particular lookout we were the only visitors, so Patrick flew his drone. From here we drove down into Italy, along Lake Lugano and onto Lake Como, where we explored Villa del Balbianello and its perfectly groomed gardens. Before taking on a day trip to Venice with a baby, we relaxed at a campsite on the Gardasee for a night. Venice felt empty compared to what we had experienced in the past. We first took the ferry down the Grand Canal and explored St. Mark's Square and the Basilica. We ate gelato, enjoyed pizza, and drank Aperol Spritz as we wandered through the alleys back to our camper. After our day trip to Venice, we drove a longer stretch through Slovenia, down into Croatia, and onto the island of Kirk. Here we joined other campers on a headland looking out onto the Adriatic Sea. It was this small corner of the world where Theo went swimming in the ocean for the very first time. From here, we drove inland to Plitvice National Park, easily one of the most beautiful places we have ever been lucky enough to experience. Everywhere you looked, the water was crystal clear. It was as if we had fallen into a Gatorade factory. The big day trips left us feeling quite tired, and a heat wave was upon us, so we headed back to the coast where we relaxed for a few days. Once we felt well rested, we visited Krka National Park and its incredible waterfalls. From here, we drove to Peruka Lake on the Bosnian border. The heat of the summer had dried up a lot of the lake, which made for some incredible drone footage. The following day, we took a day trip to Cetina's Blue Eye, a natural spring which is over 100 meters deep and never gets warmer than 8 degrees all year. We started driving north towards the coast and would stop wherever we wanted to enjoy a peaceful lunch or just to fly the drone. Once we reached the coast, there was an incredibly windy road down to Karlabag, a small fishing village where we spent the night. The next day, we walked along a coastal path to the little bay of Zvratnica. This bay was well known for a sunken World War II ship, and we were lucky enough to get there early enough in the day to enjoy it while it was still empty. It was in this bay where Theo discovered his hands and started grabbing grass. The further north we drove, the cooler it became. We spent time at Lake Bled and drove further into the Slovenian Alps, along the Socha River, and past a beautiful Russian memorial chapel. Once we crossed over into the Italian Dolomites, we packed Theo into his beloved carrier and hiked around Lago di Brais. I love being in the mountains. They remind me of how small and insignificant we really are. It's just incredibly peaceful, and I guess it reminds us of our place in the world. The final days we spent exploring mountainous areas and waterfalls before driving up through Switzerland and back towards our home on the Bodensee.